Good afternoon. Thanks for the kind introduction. Please life. We'll have banking touching some of our lives. We have telecom touching some of our lives. But media is an industry which touches each and every one of us across the globe. So that puts into perspective what kind of a big data and its propensity to create a huge business value out of it. And that is what I'm trying to tell you today in a nutshell. And what I will try and do is, like Disney does is, I'll take you a complete round trip of what big data is, what big data use cases can be, and how it has actually culminated into a business propositions. Some of the content which I'm going to put across, you may feel it is more theoretical. But I will prove you how it has resulted into a huge monetary advantage to the MNCs working across the globe. And of course, I will definitely not miss the companies working in India. So in India, people have used big data to get a huge amount of monetary and economic advantage for their business. So let's get started. Yeah, so we have the slide. What is big data? I mean, I have been following big data for last years, and I keep talking at various conferences and what big data is, how it is. And recently I was also talking about big data in, at one of the forum. And my daughter, who is 10 years old, keeps listening to this kind of conversations. What big data, big data, big data. Yesterday actually she couldn't resist and came to me, asked me, Daddy, what is big data? Every time you keep talking about big data, big data, big data. Now, how do I explain a 10-year-old? I mean, I told her it's kind of an elephant, which everybody seeing it from a different angles, different perspective. Today, one person is seeing it as a trunk, somebody is seeing it as a rope, somebody is seeing it as a pillar, somebody is seeing it as a fan. So, what is a big data? So, I explained her in a most simplistic way what big data is. This is big data. What do we mean by this? We had a child introduced in our family recently, and I told her exactly what happened on the day one of our child. That is what is big data. What do we see in the picture here is every one of us has been going through. I mean, if you have not had child recently, at least in your relatives, your friends' family, somewhere you will see the same picture happening, same scene taking place every time there is a new child coming in this world. People are taking photographs, people are tweeting about it, people are putting it on a Facebook, people are text messaging it, people are taking a video shooting out of it and spreading everything across. The research says that every first day of every child coming in this world generates 70 times more data than what we have in a National Congress library in USA. Isn't that immense? We'll come how it culminates into a huge amount of revenue and a business proposition, but that is a fact. 70 times of the data which is captured in a Congress library in USA. And the babycenter.com from USA, a big portal on babies, it also says that every child in USA exists online in prenatal state. That you can see is she has put her sonogram as her profile picture. One of my friend actually put a whole video of a sonography onto a Facebook so that everybody can see and celebrate the newcomer in the family. So that is what is happening. So this is nothing but this is a big data. This is what we are calling big data today. So what is it? Big data is everywhere. It is everywhere. I mean, I'll just put you in a perspective. We have 1.2 zettabytes of online data, and research says that it is going to be 50 times more, 50 times larger by the time we reach end of this decade. That is 2020. So 1.2 zettabytes of data today, 50 times more larger data than what kind of opportunity that we are seeing there. So that is what I just want to sensitize you. So what has resulted into this big data is the social and economical changes that we are going through. So for example, everybody has got handsets, everybody has got smart devices, and we have come to the tipping point in the history actually where the big data generated by the devices like GPS systems, by mobile phones, by every sensor that is installed. Of course, in Indian scenario, it doesn't relate directly because we don't have too much of the sensors attached in our family or in our homes today, but that is a different case across the world. There are so many sensors attached to each and every small thing of your life, and that is generating immense amount of data. We have a different economic perspective to see when we are talking about a big data. So let's demystify what big data is. I mean, some of the speakers have all different region altogether. Then time changed. Lots of changes, lots of developments happened on the healthcare industry. Lots of new technologies introduced in terms of scanning and X-rays, etc. We started having doctors talking across the regions, and they had a very high-res images of the healthcare for ranging about 1 terabyte in the size. But doctors couldn't share that information on the net to talk on or to discuss on various cases. Is that possible today? Yes, to some extent. 40 MB, which was not possible 10 years back, today it is possible. 1 terabyte of data share on the high-res healthcare images, which was not possible 5 years back, which is, we are seeing a signs of it being coming into the existence today. Whole media changed its perspective from 2D to 3D, and now you see every next film which is coming from Hollywood is coming in a 3D format. Even Indian films are coming into the 3D format. We have a 1 terabyte of 3D movie to be rendered, and a producer tells a studio guy that please keep it rendered overnight, and I want to see the 3D film tomorrow morning, and its size is about 1 terabyte. He will just faint. That is not possible to do this kind of a rendering overnight for 1 terabyte of data. So what are we talking about? I mean, we are constantly changing our scenarios in terms of what is possible through the processing power, what is possible through communication power, what is possible through storage power. So scenes are changing, data is increasing. Data was always sharing this kind of on these 3 parameters was always a challenge. It is also a challenge today, and now we are discussing about the big data. So it doesn't mean big data did not exist 10 years back. It always exists, just that we have started realizing the importance of this big data. So having this in perspective, what we see here, we have seen this multiple times earlier, is what we see is the volume of the data, which we are talking about is like huge amount of data continuously getting generated, which we need to analyze. The velocity of the data. What we mean velocity as earlier we have seen very aptly that traffic is coming towards you. What do? It's a real-time data, as I shared in the morning, that there are cars in Israel which are transmitting data on the run, running at 120 kilometers per hour. It is sending an information. The analytical server will have to actually pick information from multiple sources, from electricity companies, from the sensor data, and from the GPS devices, and take a real-time decision whether the car can be charged to the next charging station or not. If the power load is too much on the grid, it will not be possible to charge it because it will pull down the whole grid in next charging station. So it has to take an intelligent decision where the next charging station would be for that particular car. So that is a velocity we are talking about in terms of analytical power that we have to have on this kind of data coming in at real great speed. And of course, the most important part, as we are progressing with the technology, the variety of data that we are receiving. And variety of data that we are receiving and getting stored in its native form. When we say the type of data that we have is here, we are, of course, a big chunk of data we are capturing through our transactional system, OLTP systems, which is very much structured. What we know that we wanted to capture a particular set of data, it will have certain fields, it will have some characters, it will have some numeric values, it will have any kind, some kind of a format of that data, which we have defined and which we know that it is continue coming in a certain way only. But what about with this kind of a new era that we are into, with rich media we are living with, a huge amount of songs, audio files, text messages which are sent which is completely unstructured, a huge amount of talk audio files that we have, that is also now capturing a huge portion of data which is getting captured into some or other system there and has got a huge economical value in it. So this is about the big data. I mean, what we have to have in our mind is it is a combination of these three variables, and not just because of the size. We are saying big data is a big data. Big data is immense information, high potential information because of these three parameters put together. So, oops. What we see here, as I said, the velocity of the data, it's the information which is in motion, and the huge amount of digital footprint we are leaving behind, or a huge amount of digital exhaust that we are emitting. We have, if we go on a Facebook, we keep uploading various type of data. It's not just the photographs, it's not just the text. Lot more newer way of media is getting uploaded onto Facebook, or to Twitters, or to your blogs, or websites, or through emails. So this kind of information which is in motion, making a huge sense, and we have to be geared for that kind of a velocity to make the business case that why we should look at big data and create a value out of it. Just coming back to the example which I shared, that we had a new entrant in our family. The moment I emailed it to my brother, the next day when I logged into my Google account, I started seeing ads coming from firsttry.com, Pampers, and various other Fisher Price and various other providers of solutions in terms of the baby care. So that is the big data we are talking about. So that is a value which big data holds, that services are mine, but data is yours, and I'll have a complete control on your data. So that is how the whole media world is taking and looking at the data which we are generating, and that is the reason I named my presentation here as Big Data, You and Me via Media. That we knowingly, unknowingly actually emitting so much of information that somebody is actually making a good use of that information and making a huge business sense for it. So let's take a kind of a velocity that we are talking about here. If you see on the upper part, the YouTube is generating or getting populated with 48 hours of the video content every minute, every day. A huge data inflow coming into YouTube. How does it mean? What does it mean? And how does it mean a value to it? We'll just see in a later part of the presentation. 34,000 plus like buttons are hit by individuals like you and me on the Facebook for various brands. This big data which is coming in and getting generated every minute of our life, and we are the contributors to it. It is not that somebody is doing it on our behalf. We are knowingly, unknowingly increasing the size of this big data and contributing to it. This is just another infographic which I took it from Intel. Was what the interesting part, what they showed here is by 2015, it will take 5 years to see the entire online videos which are getting uploaded and transmitted via IP. So look at the immense growth that we are talking about. And here I saw something interesting which is specific to Amazon. It is creating about $47,000 or $83,000 per minute business Amazon is generating. Of course, we will go on buying it, but somebody there at the back. When I say somebody, it is not a person sitting at the back, but it is a huge engine, huge database analytical engine which is sitting at the back and deciding what next you're going to see, what kind of ads you're going to see, and what is a possibility that you will go and click onto that ad and then buy that product on your next click. So somebody in the morning asked about the clickstream analysis and the sentiment analysis. We'll see how that is culminating into the business there. When we said that huge amount of data which we are populating, the World Economic Forum this year actually came out with a paper and termed big data, or a personal data rather, is the next oil. A great statement, an eye-opener, that they are valuing data as next oil. What oil did to the entire world's economy is what data is going to do in next 10 years time. And the analytics what we are talking about, we are human beings. We exist to analyze something. Today we are analyzing how much my son is going to get in his unit test. Tomorrow he is going to analyze how much my salary is going to increase depending on the targets that I'm achieving. Continuously analyzing. So there is a data which is going to have immense potential beneath. And World Economic Forum is actually saying that it is an oil, so it means something. So let's see, it's again that kind of a data, that personal data that I just explained you earlier. The social side, social media sites, other media sites, digital media sites, online sales portals, online transaction portals are actually adding a huge value, huge potential to this big data. And here what you see on the map, it's not actually the world map, world political map. This was the image rendered by Facebook by connecting two friendships across the globe. So within moments, within 5 minutes of rendering of this in friendship relationship on the Facebook, actually a world map started to appear. So it tells you something. It tells you that we are all connected. This information is actually transmitting from one part of the world to the other part of the world, and there's a huge amount of business value which is hidden behind. And it actually, as Mark Zuckerberg says, that next year people will share twice as much information as they did last year, and the year after they will share twice as much. So actually, when I read this first, I actually went to my Facebook profile and started analyzing it, that what is, how does it look? And because of the timeline which is coming these days, I can see it completely from top bottom or bottom up. I actually saw that trend. My decision to share some personal data or to share some non-personal data onto Facebook has started increasing. You can actually go and see your own Facebook profile. You'll find exactly the same trend. You're actually adding this into the big data. So if I ask you, and stop here and ask you, is how many of you in last 1 week hit a like button on Facebook? I'm sure each of us must have liked something on Facebook in a week's time. And that like means our attention to something. And that attention means a huge business value at the back end. So within the media domain, this kind of attention is what we are trying to grab. If I am an advertiser, if I am an advertising agency, or if I am a broadcaster, what I am dying, what business I see is your attention. And when you click like, you're actually voluntarily giving your attention to that particular information. And that information is actually valued so much. In the coming slide, we'll see that there is a company by name Kraft. Kraft is a US food giant. They had a Facebook profile. As we see in earlier infographic, there are about 34,000 likes which are generated every minute onto the social media sites, onto this Facebook specifically. And Kraft once posted something and they received about 4,000 likes within few hours onto the posting that they have done on Facebook. And they actually valued it so much, they associate a huge amount of value to it. They came up with a reciprocation sign that we thank you for liking you because we associate huge business potential, huge business value to the like that you are giving me. So let's see how they reciprocated and what kind of investments they have done. They're taking it so seriously that people are liking them. They're actually reading out people's name who all like them. Anyways, you can see this video on YouTube as usual, but the point which I want to come to is organizations, MNCs, even the small scale organizations are associating huge value, business value to the big data that we are generating onto social media, digital media, or any digital platform on which we are contributing the data. So this is how they have invested. I mean, this is one of the very costliest group with which they created a video, and they actually thank people. So they are not investing so much of a money for sake of it. They definitely see the value in that, because they are actually saving huge investment in terms of offline advertising that they need to. Because we are all connected to today, it is just viraling the spread. It's viraling their appearance to the entire globe. So tomorrow, if we see craft product on the shelf, there is a possibility that we might pick it up because our friend have liked it. So that is how the big data is coming into the use. So I was just passing by one of the malls late in the evening, and this is a picture which caught my eyes. Is not even the MNC, not just the MNCs from USA, but Indian small brands are actually valuing how big data can contribute to the business. So here we see a hoarding which says, like us and get 7% off. It's just another Indian brand who's associating a like value. So huge amount of information which they are valuing, and a new theory is coming into the existence called likeonomics. There is actually a book by name Likeonomics, which explains the economics behind this kind of likes that we are generating, or the posts that we are generating, or any information that we are sharing onto the social media sites. So that is a value that we see. The clickstream analysis, in the morning somebody was asking, or the sentiment analysis. The huge amount of engines which are working at the back. Here I would like to come a little bit on a technology is, if you are buying something on the Amazon or eBay or anything, I'm just taking Amazon as an example, I'm not promoting any brand here. When we go, it actually knows you as a cookie. You are a cookie for Amazon engine. And it actually traces you, what all you have been through, what kind of news you have read, what kind of pages that you have visited, what kind of creatives that you have seen. I mean, and then within the milliseconds of the time, it will collect all the information, pass it on to the engine at the back, which is an ad exchange, and it finds out that your friends have bought this particular book, they have bought something else along with this book, so there is a possibility that you will also try and visit what your friends have bought, and there is another possibility that you might buy that. The buying is one business. The other business on which Amazon is earning huge revenue is the ad sales. The real estate it is putting across to you in form of the browser. The ads that you see on the runtime, they are going at the back. There's a huge analytical engine associated with ad exchange connected across the globe. I mean, believe it, it is connected with advertisers across the globe, and it is sharing your profile with the ad engine, and is on the runtime it is deciding what kind of ads should be thrown, which are possible clicks that you may generate when you see that particular ad. And if it fails, it sends information back that you have not clicked on the ad. The next page that you will be landed into will have a different ad. So probably they just had a static ad displayed to you on a right hand corner or the bottom of the page. Next time when you land onto some other page, it will decide to have a video ad, a small video ad coming onto your page, because you're not clicking on the static creative ads. And once you click on the video, the kind of information that ad engine or the analytical engine is capturing is you're watching the video in totality. Have you converted that into HD? Where you entered into that video, where you exited that video, did you see it in a full screen? It tells a lot about you, a lot about you. So that kind of exchange of information or the analysis of information which is happening at the back end at the analytical engine, and the reason for that analysis is nothing but a big data. Big data coming from all the perspective. Again, big data, I'm here not talking only because it's a huge in a volume. It is a volume, velocity, and a variety of data which they are getting to read and create a business value out of it. So this was about Amazon, and Amazon also says when it comes to the reality, really important decisions, data triumphs the intuition. And every time. That is what Amazon has to say, the Jeff, who is from Amazon, a leader from Amazon. But actually, seeing it from other perspective, he is the person who actually invented Kindle. So I wonder what kind of data he used to take a decision of investing $8.5 million to invent a Kindle. So again, there is always debate which is possible, but this is what Amazon really feel officially. Let's see what all businesses who have done across the globe, in USA particularly, what have we done with the big data in India? This is a story which is, I doubt if any one of you have heard of, or very few of you all must have heard, that Satyamev Jayate, a leading show on a Indian television, taking care of your and my difficulties of various social causes, has taken a great advantage of big data which is coming in a digital format from various media domains. Look at the statistics. 40,000 plus tweets were generated on every episode on an average. Every episode generated 40,000 plus tweets, and they actually took an advantage of those tweets, because what do you think, is a producer is a god to know what next episode should be that people will hook on to my program and continuously keep watching it? No, it is you and me are actually telling them, and they are reading it, that what we want to see onto the television screen. 14 million responses are received throughout this particular program onto the Indian television. This has happened for the first time. In fact, this has not happened for the first time. The information usage was done for the first time in the entire media industry across the globe. 1 billion impressions on the web of this particular program. See the data. I mean, what I'm trying to sensitize you is, from the media perspective, we see a global usage, and how you are contributing or how I am contributing to the whole business value for media domain. The big data was gathered again from various sites or various mediums like Facebook, Twitter, emails or SMSs that they received, or even the phone calls. All unstructured information. Somebody was just telling this to me in lunch, that what's the use of this unstructured data? It is useless. I'll spend more time looking at that unstructured data than actually taking a decision. It is not the case. We have proved, in Indian scenario, we have proved that unstructured data holds an immense value. Look at the AdSense revenue which is generated by Star One or Star as a network on this particular property. So that will tell you the power of the big data which holds underneath. And that is the reason aptly it was termed as an oil of the new world. Because oil is any which was diminishing. Data will continuously increase. And imagine the power that we'll get. Big data holds a great power, of course. But that power can be used for the good or for the bad of the society. And we have seen the recent riots. It was the result of big data, believe me. It was a result of big data. The militants exactly know how to unleash the power of big data, and that is how they used all the digital media on the web, all the SMS content, all the MMS content, all the phone calls that they did. So that is the power of big data they used for the wrong things. Imagine if we decide to make a good of it, what can we achieve? Let's see from the horse's mouth what he has to say on the big data. Audio please.
सीजन 2 कैसा होगा, क्या होगा, ये समझना जरूरी है कि हम इस वक्त हमने क्या किया है, और उसमें हमको 3 महीने लगेंगे समझने के लिए। इसके 2 तरीके, एक तो हम जमीनी स्तर पर जाएंगे, हर जगह घूमेंगे, और दूसरा हमारे पास एक बहुत बड़ा डेटा,
बिग डेटा
पता नहीं, हमारे पास बहुत बड़ा डेटा मौजूद है इस वक्त, क्योंकि जितने लोगों ने पहले एपिसोड से लेके आज तक इंटरनेट पे जहां ये शो डिस्कस हुआ है उसका पूरी ट्रैकिंग हमने 100% की। जो फोन कॉल्स आए हैं, इन्होंने मैसेज छोड़े, सारा डेटा हमारे पास मौजूद है सारा, और हमको 3 महीना वो भी लगेगा उसको उसके थ्रू जाने में। हम आपको प्रेजेंटेशन भी दिखाना चाहेंगे कि किस तरह से हमने ये डेटा, क्योंकि ये दुनिया में पहली दफा हुआ है, ऐसे कभी हुआ नहीं, तो ये डेटा मैं बताऊंगा हमारी टीम को, वो आपको प्रेजेंटेशन देंगे, आपको भी देख के अच्छा लगेगा कि क्या क्या हुआ है। मतलब आप पूरा ना डायग्राम भी बनाया ग्रुप का कि कहाँ से लोग, ना सिर्फ हिंदुस्तान से, मतलब मैं देख के ताज्जुब हुआ मुझे कि एंटार्क्टिका से, आइसलैंड से भी लोग जुड़े हैं, वहां से भी एक ब्लू डॉट, जहां से लोग जुड़े हैं वहां से ब्लू डॉट ऐसा उन्होंने पूरा मैप किया है पूरे ग्लोब को। तो ये सारा जो इंफॉर्मेशन हमारे पास है, चाहे वो डिजिटल नेटवर्क पे हो या वो जमीनी स्तर पे हो, इस सबको देख के समझ के फिर हमको समझ आएगा कि हमने किया क्या है और फिर इसको आगे कैसे ले जाना है।
Isn't it an eye-opener? How many of us actually knew this is what is happening at the back end with the data that we have shared? And as he rightly said, that there are 2 types of data that we will analyze, is which is on the ground, which we collected as a medium, as an output of a research, or the questionnaires we get filled from various people that we meet in the mall, on the roads, on the streets. How much value it contains? I doubt it has any value, because it is always biased. It is always inaccurate. But the digital data, what you are putting on the Facebook, what you are querying on the Google, means what you think. So Facebook knows what you're talking, but Google knows what you're actually thinking. Because when you're searching, Google knows what is going in your mind, what are you looking out for. Facebook will have a little lesser advantage, but imagine the Google, and you will question that what it has to do with the media and what revenue or something like that. Everything is free on the Google. $2.9 billion US revenue generated every month by Google by giving you all free services. Where are we? How is this revenue generated? It's because of this ad sales, because of this information power which Google has today. So I'll try and wrap up my presentation here. Just wanted to give you glimpses of how it looked when we overlaid the data, what we gathered and analyzed. Then applied lots of artificial intelligence onto that data because it was completely unstructured. This is how it appeared on the global map, or in India. So India, where you see the brighter dots, they are the one where most of the information has come. And Facebook again has shared 56% of the total data volume onto this particular topic. Big data will keep growing. Earlier we had something in our hand, then we started with voice, then we are going to have it, soon going to have it on the glasses, then we'll have it on the lenses, and a day will come very soon that it will get implanted in you and me, and data will continuously keep growing, and somebody will keep reading and create a meaning and create a business value out of it. So that is what I wanted to sensitize you in terms of the media, how the digital media or any type of media that we are using is creating a big data and ultimately resulting into the huge business benefits. I thank you very much for patiently listening, and these are my coordinates where you can get in touch with me. Of course, I have a blog which I have pulled down recently because there is lots of big data again which I am cleansing, and very soon I will put it on. But you can always connect me on LinkedIn, and then you will know when my blog is on. So I thank you very much, and I appreciate you to listen to me very patiently. Thank you.
Thank you, Nikhil. Thank you so much. Hello. Yeah, if you could give a loud applause to Nikhil Gundale again, please, for sharing his views on big data. Thank you so much.